wrestling fans, welcome to the One Wing Wrestling Podcast, where we help you navigate the complex world of pro wrestling, bring you the best matches, world-class wrestlers, and news you can count on. At One Wing Wrestling, we bring the elite to you. I'm your host, Krishna, and joining me, as always, is Mr. Bill Cupbush. Bill, how's it going?
It's going really well. It's going really well. I mean, I was watching a bit of Stardom today, so it can't be a bad day, right?
You're right. It can't be a bad day. I just came back from a work Christmas party because those things are happening right now. Apparently, and it's funny actually. Went to a restaurant, and the waitress actually said, at this time of the year, you could tell like who the companies coming out for their work parties. And I said, okay, that makes sense because it's Christmas time. She's like, actually, the bars do their Christmas parties in January, obviously low season, I guess, right? So I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
I didn't even know that, but that was interesting. But I have a bone to pick with you, Bill. I listened to the podcast on Monday.
Mhm.
Okay, how dare you close that podcast with crowns up? How you said the great one,
Yes.
and then you said something that
Omega
I
United
don't know.
Empire Da. Yes.
Yeah, and then you said crowns up, and I was
And I
like,
say crowns
but
up. Yes.
but Kenny Omega doesn't say that kind of stuff.
Well, what
I
I
was
should
like,
have said,
how
to be
dare
fair, I should have
you,
said, as the orchestrator always says.
the
You're
orchestrator?
you are correct. I should have said, as the orchestrator always says. So I take your correction. I take your correction in kind. But Omega United Empire Da. So
Yeah, I know. I listened to the podcast. Great podcast. I have some thoughts on a few things that you discussed on Monday in terms of like
Yep.
news items.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's get into it. Oh, hang on, wait. My boss wants to talk to me about our Christmas party. One second. Hey, are we having a Christmas party this year? Why, yes, we are. We're going to sit on the couch and read books and maybe watch some Stardom. Cool, thanks. God, I love being self-employed.
That's a pretty cool Christmas party.
I know. I am so down for it. You have no idea. Anyway, yeah, I had some stuff I was talking about there on
Mhm.
Monday, and one of I think the thing that I really most had wanted to hear your opinion on, of course, was the House of Black attack on Brandon Cutler and what they said to Brandon Cutler, which was also then repeated on Being the Elite.
Yeah, because being the lead, I always forget her name, Julia Hart.
Mhm.
She picked up Brandon Cutler's camera and started recording. I was like, oh, okay. So no, like I think Malachi may have messed up a little bit what he was trying to say, but because but what he says was, it's nothing personal. It's just the people that you associate yourself with are a big problem. And then he says, and they are a small problem of a bigger problem in this company, but
Mhm.
it's nothing personal. He taps him and he walks away.
Yep.
And first of all, I think this was so awesome. I any like House of Black versus the Elite. Oh my god! Like House of Black versus Death Triangle. Yeah, give me that any day. House of Black versus the Elite. Oh my god! I
Yeah.
cannot. I cannot wait because listen, as great as um the Death Triangle are in the ring,
Mhm.
right? The one person who can cut pretty good promos is Pac, right? And even he's a bit subdued, right?
Right.
Malachi Black versus Kenny Omega on the mic. Oh my god. Like I am ready for it. And as you said, like I'm thinking you're right. Maybe they interfere. Maybe they
Mhm.
mess up. Or the best out of seven series. Or they let the elite win. And then they take the elite out. Like that. Whew,
Yep.
I didn't know I wanted like Christmas came early, I think,
Yeah.
and I think just hearing like again we praise Malachi
Mhm.
so much, and we're so happy he's back after everyone was saying he's leaving, he's gone. Even Meltzer had to come back and say, you know what, I'll take that back, right?
Yep.
Um, but he's here, he's back, and man, does he look menacing. Like I
Yep.
love the House of Black. That Brandon Cutler attack when he got that power bomb through the table.
Mhm.
I don't know if Brody King messed up or didn't realize how far he was, but he literally lawn darted him onto that table. I was like, ouch, that did not look comfortable at all. Now, I was thinking about it and I thought, you know what? But if he had thrown him higher, potentially he would have hit the
Right.
barriers. So maybe that's why he did it
Well,
there, right?
these guys are professionals. I'm
Yeah,
sure it was fine.
exactly.
I didn't see anything in it that made me go, okay, that was really dangerous. I just thought,
Yeah.
ouch.
Yeah, exactly. Same. I
Yeah.
thought the funniest comment though was the guy in the front row who screamed to Brandon, "Brandon, hand me the Sony. It's too
Yeah,
expensive."
I heard that. That was great. And me
I'm like,
the Sony. It's
I
too
love
expensive.
AEW fans. They're so aware. They're like the Bucks
Hmm.
and the Elite. They're so aware of what's happening that they
Hmm.
play into everything. Hand me the camera, and then Julia Hart picks up the camera and starts filming. Um, I thought it was such an awesome, like, yeah, the QT Marshall match versus Casty is good.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of lumberjack matches because we know where they're headed.
Okay. But
Um,
listen, shout out, and I didn't say this on Monday, but shout out to Danhausen for really going all out on the lumberjack.
they were all wearing
I know.
lumberjack
It
gear,
was so good. I loved it. I'm like, they're actually dressed like
like lumberjacks.
lumberjacks. That is
Yeah,
the best. Like the best friends in Danhausen. It was so funny.
they're fantastic, and yeah, great. Like I'm excited. Like now you don't know because there are 4 matches left, right?
Mhm.
You don't know when the House of Black are going to attack again, and I love that.
Exactly.
I love it so
Yep.
much.
Could they appear tonight during the Diamond Battle Royal?
And they win it all. Why not? Or wait,
What
sorry,
the
the
hell are they going to
person
do with a
who,
diamond
yeah,
ring?
yeah, maybe they turn it. They paint it black.
They could. They could. And then one of them would get to beat the living snot out of MJF. So I'd be totally down for that too.
Buddy Matthews looks absolutely dangerous. My goodness, this guy, like
Dude
some
is
of the moves,
jacked,
he
man.
is huge, and this guy moves like Kenny and stuff like that. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm afraid to ask. The question is, Bill, and we'll probably get into this when we get in the show. Will
Mhm.
the Elite address the issue tonight?
Hmm. Hmm. Maybe. Maybe. Maybe.
But
I,
before
I,
we
I don't know. Mhm.
not sure if you got a chance to listen to it. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but listened to most of it. Tony Khan had a press conference today.
No, I didn't. I was probably
Yeah,
busy watching Stardom. Sorry.
yeah. And I just want to update you on a few things.
Yeah.
So right away he addressed the William Regal situation.
Mhm.
So officially, William
Yep.
Regal is leaving.
See,
It's
there you
official.
go. Now it's 100% official. Like it was
Uh,
getting more likely by Monday.
yeah.
Now it's official. Tony Khan said it. So yeah.
Tony Khan said he said to everyone, he said to all the dirt sheet
Yep.
guys and everything that,
Yep.
but he did raise other issues, and
Hmm.
it was actually kind of interesting. He before he said he's going to address the William Regal situation, but he started bringing up personal matters into this, and he said, after All Out, his mother suffered 2 strokes, not
James.
one, 2 strokes. But he I guess he had tweeted, I'm watching Rampage a couple months ago with my mom. He's like, I was watching it with her from her hospital bed. And I was like,
Oh
holy
wow.
crap. So he said, like, obviously his father, he mentioned his father didn't come to the Grand Slam, and he
Hmm.
came to last year's Grand Slam, right?
Yeah.
And he said the reason he couldn't, obviously because of this, his
Mm.
sister and his father, he said, are the real heroes because they stayed there. He said actually this happened, I think, around the time they were coming to Toronto. To be honest with you, I think this is when it kind of
Okay.
happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he said that he actually had to fly from the hospital over to Toronto just to be for the show a little bit.
Oh wow.
And he's saying like all this stuff was going on. His mom, they found that she had like a spot on her heart, and they needed to have her surgery for this. So he was with her there as well. And he said while he was with her at the hospital, he got a call from Regal because Regal had approached Mega,
Hmm.
I think after All Out or sometime after All Out,
Hmm.
and had discussed that he didn't want AEW to renew his contract.
Hmm.
So he said him and Tony had a discussion, and his reasoning. Here's Regal's reasoning. He doesn't want to renew his contract because he wants to go work with his son and he wants to coach him
Okay.
on. And hey, you can't really fault a guy for saying that. And Tony Khan says, he actually said, where you're sitting right now, with his mother, does this make sense to you? And Tony Khan said, yeah, this makes absolute sense. Like he would never want to keep someone away from their kid or whatever. So, so it's official. William Regal, his contract is not going to be renewed. However, he's going to be allowed to go coach at WWE,
Mhm.
but he's not allowed to actually be an on-screen character.
Ah, okay. So that was the deal for getting him out of the
Yeah, yeah,
contract. Okay.
yeah.
Well, that's
So
fine because I mean his main talent right now anyway, I think is the coaching, right? I mean he's
agreed.
apparently an excellent coach. So
Agreed. And you know what? Again, you can't fault a guy for something like this, right?
of course
So
not. Well, you
so
could fault him, but then you'd be a dick.
you'd be that, yeah, you'd be an ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Tony Khan very, very transparent with everything. And he said this is there's no ill will, there's nothing that, but he
Mhm.
just said, like from his position, like everything just happened at once. And I was like,
Mhm.
damn, like you never know, right?
Yeah, you
Um,
don't, right? And
yeah,
then that's the thing that we all have to keep in mind too.
yeah,
So you just never know what's going on in a
no,
guy's life, right? We
yeah,
don't we don't know. It's like you're people looking at Instagram photos and stuff, right? You
yeah,
don't know what's really going on in that
yeah,
person's life. All you're getting is
yeah.
these slices of TV, these slices of social media, these slices of whatever, right? No one knows.
Yeah, exactly, and that's it, right? Like he was like, hey, we're in December. This happened around October-ish,
Hmm.
November-ish, and
Yeah.
like he's finally coming out and talking. And think about that. That's stress. He
Hmm.
also runs a football team. He
Yes.
all he also does all the booking and he manages the talent. So yeah, he had a
Maybe
lot
that's why
going
the
on.
booking's been a little off in the last couple months, eh?
There you go.
Hmm.
So and he
Hmm.
said, William Regal was supposed to play a very big part in a lot of storylines. So he had to think about what makes sense. How do we get him out? To the point I think he even said like he's playing a big part even tonight, and we'll get into that in a second.
Yep.
So it's interesting. We get why this happened the way it
Hmm.
happens.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, even though we didn't like MJF's promo last week that as much, a lot of outlets did. They loved it. And the reason they had said they loved it was because the fact that he played such a old school heel promo and kind of late. I was like, I didn't listen, I don't appreciate that kind of stuff. I'm like, that's just kind of boring. But
Nah,
hey,
you know what? These are people reaching because they love MJF too much.
maybe.
It's honestly, yeah, sure. It definitely had an old school heel vibe, but it was
Mhm.
all over the map.
It
I
was
mean,
all over the map. It
Meltzer
was, yeah.
raised that great point about how it's just flipping everyone back and forth constantly, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. I mean, Meltzer did not love this promo, and like I don't have to
Profess.
agree with everything he says, which I don't agree with everything he
Mhm.
says, but in this situation, I'd already ranted about this promo.
Same.
It just, and I ranted about it again on Monday. So
Yeah.
I'm done ranting about it.
I was
I'm done with
bored.
MJF. I think he's a terrible champion and I don't like this reign at all. I
Yeah,
find it, but
I
that's
was
just
bored.
it. For me, it's go away heat. Like I just
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
like him.
yeah, and that's it, right? Like, I mean, we like if you're a heel, like, yeah, I want to see you wrestle and stuff like that. I
Mhm.
just want to see you wrestle at pay-per-views because I'm sorry, I'm just like you're undervaluing that belt. But anyway, we're not
Mhm.
talking about MJF here. So William Regal, he's out.
Yep.
It's probably sometime in January. Back
Okay.
to he's going to be obviously coaching his kid. He says he has friends there that are coaches and he wants to
Hmm.
work with them. But you know what? Great. And it's funny, I saw a lot of memes today about this, and they're like, it says that William Regal says, "Hey Tony, can I get my release?" Tony Khan says, "Sure," and then it says Mustafa Ali says, "Hey Vince, can I?" And Vince says, "F off." Right? So, so like two different things.
Yeah.
And Tony Khan pointed out that the AEW is family first, so this
Hmm.
he had no issue with this.
Right.
So good on you, Tony. Addressing this head on, not like having people talk about it. The first thing you brought up was this, and yeah, we hope your mom gets better. That's not stuff
100%.
to deal with.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. I mean, it's watching your mom in the hospital is not fun. That's exactly what I was doing at exactly this time last year
Yeah,
for my mom. So,
yeah.
yep. So yeah, hope she gets better soon, Tony. Seriously. Um, so does that then bring us to this week's AEW Dynamite?
It does.
Yeah, because we're gonna be predicting the show. Gonna
Oh,
go away and watch it, gonna review it. So let's see. It comes to us tonight from the HEB Center in Cedar Park, Texas. I
I was
wonder
like
how
the
big a town Cedar Park, Texas is.
I was like at the Heb Center. I'm like, what is this?
I know
Right?
the the HEB Center, the HEB Center in Cedar Park, Texas. I love arena names. They're so much fun these
Hmm.
days. They used to be so boring with just their dramatic, good names like Madison Square Gardens,
Hmm.
Maple Leaf Gardens, right?
Gardens. Yeah.
good solid names. Now we have like, the Coca-Cola Arena Energy Fun Time
The
Center or
Wells
whatever.
Fargo
So
Center.
exactly.
I
Yeah.
think they even have like a cryptocurrency center or something like that.
Why doesn't this surprise me? Oh, anyway. So we got a lot on this show tonight, although there seems to be a lot of talking again. So speaking of talking, we will hear from John. I almost said AEW World Champion John Moxley. Oh, wishful thinking. We'll hear from John Moxley.
Yeah, so I think John has been like, I don't know if this is to address the Regal situation. I don't think it is, because I think this is to address the Hangman Page situation. So as I joked last week that, hey, maybe Hangman's gonna show up, and he showed up. I think Hangman's showing up here today. He's going to challenge Moxley. They're probably, I wonder if they're gonna have a match at Winter's Coming. Or would they yeah, you know what? I think I'm gonna predict that we're gonna have a match at Winter's Coming, because it kind of makes sense. There's no pay-per-view until January, February time.
March, isn't it?
Is it March? Oh my god, you're right. It is March. It is March. You're right.
Yeah.
It is March. So yeah, if Mox is gonna take some time out, some time off, yeah, maybe this little feud might send him on his way, which is kind of cool because remember people complain that how Hangman doesn't really work well with the vets. Interesting how that's working out. But yeah, no, I kind of feel this has to be him addressing Hangman.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. There's no question in my mind. Hangman needs, because isn't Winter is coming next week?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Hangman needs to cut an amazing promo tonight to heat this feud up better. Right?
Mhm.
He needs to say something. So there's no way he's not coming out to say something to Mox. So we're gonna get Mox, we're gonna get Hangman. It's gonna be an epic promo showdown. And then they'll probably beat each other senseless and set us off for Winter is coming next week. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Same.
I like both these guys. So yeah. Then we have another talking segment. We're going to have AEW Women's World Champion Jamie Hayter sitting down with Tony Schiavone for an interview.
So how long do you think before Britt interrupts Jamie, or does Jamie even get to say anything? Right. As you pointed out, like they're slowly doing this kind of like Britt can't not be in the the spotlight. So I'm very interested. I want to hear what Jamie has to say, because I really want to know who is challenging her next.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's no storyline unless the build is going to be Britt eventually. So, but that means that you would assume that she would have a match next week, right? At least, but that's not going to be Britt. It's going to be somebody else. But I'm just very curious. There's no build. There's no story going into this. So, like, yeah, I get it. Long play. You're playing right now. Like, hey, it's going to be eventually Britt versus Jamie. But in the meantime, you give her, she needs to do something, right, with the belt. She hasn't defended the belt yet, right? So yeah, I'm very interested on what's gonna happen here.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you're absolutely right. You nailed it on the head. She needs an opponent, right? She needs a feud that she can carry over the next few weeks on TV, so that one, that belt stays in the spotlight and it's not just the Jade Cargill show all the time. Right. So yeah, I want Jamie Hayter out there front and center, not Jade Cargill out there front and center, because Jamie Hayter, one, can wrestle circles around Jade Cargill. Circles. Yep. I don't care where Jade Cargill placed on the pro WWE Illustrated 150 list. Don't even get me started. We'll talk about this on Monday, because if I start talking about it now, it's going to be like the next 45 minutes is going to be me ranting about tag teams. Anyway, Jamie Hayter, one of the best women's wrestlers in the world, and she needs an opponent. Fortunately, the AEW roster has lots of really amazing women that could actually challenge her and take her on for a little while. Like, why couldn't she, I don't know, have a feud with Hikaru Shida? Couldn't they do something there?
They could. I think AEW, like what they're doing currently, is they're pushing their heels a lot. They don't really push their faces a lot. I'm like, well, the minute you said Hikaru Shida, I forgot about her. I totally forgot. Riho, forgot about her. It's like, where are these people? Like
Maki Ito. Can Maki Ito have a title shot?
Sir, Ito.
Oh my god, she's so good though. You have no idea how good this woman is.
I listened to you talk about her on Monday, and yes, I totally forgot about that kind of like head drop she does, where she kind of
it's so good. I love that move so much.
But that's my problem. Where are the faces? Like, I'm sorry, the faces that they have on TV right now for the women are boring as hell. And we know
Yes.
Saraya's not going to be facing Jamie Hayter. So who is available as a face to face her?
That's actually on TVs, which is why we're leaving Hikaru Shida out of that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
She's not boring.
No, she's not boring, but she's
Sky
never on
Blue's up
TV.
and coming. Willow Nightingale.
Sure. Okay.
I know. Like that's kind of like okay, so we're you know if you're gonna look for like maybe a B minus.
Willow's is good. She's getting better. She's like, listen, she's better than a lot of people that we've seen.
Yes. Yeah.
Right?
No, she's entertaining. I was being harsh with a B minus. Let's say B plus.
But I don't see her as like a main event challenging Jamie Hayter. You know what I mean? Like I like she hasn't built that status. Oh my god, like she's amazing. She's beating everybody. Now let's let her face champion.
Right.
Jamie did that. So let people step up to the plate because I'm not seeing anyone doing that right now.
Do you think maybe the reason why they're not building up a lot of faces is because Jamie's going to be the face?
Maybe that is possible, right? And
because
that
if she's against Britt in that sense,
she's against
right?
Britt. She's the face, right? And right now the fans are 100% behind her. So, you know, I'm just she's give her something to do right now. People, come on.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And I mean, Britt's going to be busy with Saraya too for the next little while. So,
all right, sure.
Well, we get more talking on the show. We're going to hear from the AEW Burberry Belt champion MJF.
So I hope last week was rock bottom, right? No pun intended. But I hope last week was absolutely rock bottom, which means there's only up from there, right? Because MJF, we know, is really good on the mic, right? He was actually a killer on the mic. I'm going to count last week as, an outlier, right? Missteps. People, hey, you know what? I'm gonna make a judgment call on this, right? Do I need to say anything else?
Judgment call.
But like people make mistakes. We know this. We're all human, everyone, right? I'm gonna count last week as just a boring promo. That hey, people have cut boring promos, and hey, as we know, AEW loves to let people celebrate stuff for a very long time. So I'm hoping for a better promo this week. Maybe this is like the farewell Regal promo-ish thing. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe he buries Regal even more so. But yeah, I'm not excited because after what happened last week, but I'm fingers crossed. I'm hoping that we get our regular like fire on the mic MJF and not what we had last week.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I was really intrigued with him for about 2 promos there when he was in the build up to fight Moxley. I was like, man, these are really good. Like, there's a lot of like, would he not? There was a lot of realism in the promos, and I like that kind of stuff. The one last week, you're right, it was very classic heel, but I can appreciate classic heel. What I can't appreciate is paint by numbers.
Yep.
Okay, how many jokes about Texans do you think we're gonna get in his promo tonight?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah, so we're gonna get a ton of cheap heat. Texas, people in Texas suck. They're all dumb. They're all hicks. They all have no teeth.
WBE. So, yeah,
exactly. Yeah, blah 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 blah. Right. So we're gonna get a lot of that. And then he's going to be like, oh, look, I'm such a devil. I took out William Regal. No one can stand up to me. Oh, Nick Khan. I'm totally like, God, if I could just like hug you and kiss you and all over you, you're the best. That's going to be MJF's promo tonight. That's if I hear one damn thing about the bidding war of 2024, it's like, dude, seriously, shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Seriously.
I agree.
Yeah, and I don't mean that in the sense of, oh, you're such a heel, I'm cheering. I mean, no, seriously, shut the fuck up. So, like, God, I'm so done with that crap. I am so done with it. I've never seen someone who just sits there and goes off about how bad his own company is, except for CM Punk, and get away with it week in and week out.
And at the end of it, guess what? The person you just talked about did not get away with it. So I'm hoping Tony Khan has something planned that's better than this, because at the end of the day, like, if he wants to leave, let him leave.
Yeah, I don't care. in fact, I kind of want him to leave. Like he'd be perfect for
He
WWE. So
would.
just
He would.
go, just go,
Yeah.
go, and then they can have all their little Raw ratings, and he can become the #1 on the Pro WWE Illustrated Top 500.
Pro
And
WWE Illustrated.
it'll be great. He'll be a shoe-in because he's in WWE. So yeah. Anyway, um, on to real wrestling. We have Jake Hager, his hat, and Daniel Garcia taking on Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta.
Sports entertainment. I think this match is gonna be fun. I really do. Like it can't not. Like it's just so funny. Like Jake, they had a hat section. Did you see on being the lead? There was a hat section there of people just wearing the hat. I want a hat just because you know what? I like your hat, Jake. But yeah, no, I think this is gonna be a fun match. Like, yeah, do I think it's gonna be shenanigans? Yeah, of course there is. The JAS is involved. Of course there is. But these are people who can actually wrestle. So yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be a very funny, fun match. So yeah, I think I'm gonna say this is going to be one of the better matches on the card.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Did you see the Daniel Garcia and Private Party segment on being the
Yep.
elite?
The
That
NBA.
was pretty great. Yeah, that was pretty great. That was pretty great. It was nice seeing Daniel Garcia try to play the ref, the commentator between the two of them. So yeah, it was pretty great. But anyway, to this match, yeah, no, Daniel Garcia, Wheeler Yuta, we already know these guys are insane. Claudio Castagnoli, very solid. Jake Hager, surprisingly very solid in the
Yeah.
ring. He's not going to win any awards for Wrestler of the Year or anything like that, but he knows how to do what he does well, and that's it. He's got like a good, he's fast enough, strong enough. He gets through his stuff. So these four guys, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a damn good match. It's going to be fun. There might be shenanigans, but I expect shenanigans in
Yeah,
this match,
exactly.
so it's all good.
JS. Yeah. Agreed.
Yep. Oh, and then we get, just here we go. Here we go. We get Jade Cargill and the Baddies because this is going to be the only women's match on this show tonight. We get Jade Cargill and the Baddies versus Madison Rayne, Poor Skye Blue, and Kiera Hogan.
Yeah. So I guess they kicked Kiera Hogan out, so she is now a good guy.
No one cares,
right? I'm not going to trash this match. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say that AEW, when they put on women's tag matches or multiple, like just tag matches in general, has been pretty well because you know what, they actually hide the the wrestlers who are not as good as other wrestlers, right? So I'm looking at this lineup now. Remember that we had said that why am I forgetting her name right now? Red Velvet. We had said, hey, she was actually progressing very well before her injury, right? So that's good. Leila Gray, I think she's decent in the ring, but I'm looking at the other side. So I'm looking at Skye, Skye Blue. I'm looking at Madison Rayne, who's actually a coach, right? So I mean, she's not bad at all. And Kiera Hogan. I think Kiera Hogan is actually a pretty good wrestler. But she hasn't been doing any of this stuff. And maybe this is the best thing for her. So I'm hoping that this match actually showcases some of these people a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, where's Athena? I guess she's a bad person. She's a heel. I say bad person. She's a heel, so I guess she doesn't really fit into this match well because she's not a baddie, but she's a heel. Yeah, anyone listening, if I've just confused you, now you know how I feel. Yeah, I'm not gonna trash it, but I will say this is probably not gonna be the best match. It's probably gonna be the worst match on the card.
Yeah, wrestling wise, it'll be fine. You're completely right. There's some good, solid wrestlers in this match. Some of them are young, little inexperienced, but we could see some good spots. We could see some bad spots, but we could see some good spots. It's not the wrestling, that is making me look at this match and go, oh God. I don't care about anyone in this match except maybe Skye Blue. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, I don't care about anybody in this match. Give me Athena versus Skye Blue.
Yeah, with her new persona. Yeah.
Oh, please. Heck yeah. I mean, God, Athena is so good, and yet no one gets to see this persona on Dynamite. It's being hidden on Dark and Dark Elevation just to build her up for a title shot against the ghost that is Mercedes Martinez.
I know.
She's had like one appearance in AEW in like the last bunch of months.
I hope she wins that belt and then
Well, it'll be
defends it.
easy because it'll just be like a hovering belt in the air. It'll fall to the mat, and she'll pin her, and it'll be over, right? Does Mercedes Martinez even exist in AEW anymore? I
I have
don't
no clue.
know.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to watch this match, but I will for all of you out there. Then we have the Dynamite Battle Royal. No, the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. Now, here's the entrance that we have announced that I am aware of at the time that we are recording. Jungle Boy, Ethan
Sweet.
Page, Ricky Starks,
Mhm.
Brian Cage,
Mhm.
Matt Hardy, Sean Dean, and Dalton Castle, with more to be announced tonight before the match.
It's a pretty good lineup of people right now that's in
Yep.
that match. Like this match is going to be fun. Like just by the people you've just named, this match will be really. I think his match is going to be good. I'm just wondering if House of Black. You're right. If does House of Black enter into this thing? Like who else could enter? Right. So yeah, no, I'm interested in this. I think this is going to be a good match. I think it'll be good. I just hope they don't do a stupid finish like they did for the Battle Royale they had at the pay-per-view. One of the worst finishes ever. But yeah, no, I think this is going to be a fun match to watch.
Yeah, I think that Ethan Page is going to screw Ricky Starks out of it.
Mm.
And they're gonna go because Ricky Starks already has his match against MJF, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't need the diamond ring. So Ethan Page can continue their feud. So Ricky Starks has something to do after MJF mops the floor with him. So that'll be fine. You know who's winning this? Jungle Boy.
Interesting. That's right. I haven't even picked a winner. Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Jungle Boy. You know what? Jungle Boy winning this match. I would love it. So the question is, if Jungle Boy wins this match, he qualifies for a match against MJF for the ring, right? Is that right? Is that how the
Yeah, I think that's how this is working.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think this year, whoever wins is going to win that diamond ring. There's no point in having the diamond ring and the belt on MJF, right?
Which is why it's going to be Jungle Boy, because Jungle Boy would get a hell of a lot out of a victory over MJF.
You don't think Ricky Starks will get the same kind of?
Because you're right. But then he's immediately going to lose to him.
He beats him for the ring and then
loses for the championship, and then it's just like, okay, like whatever.
I don't know. I'm gonna go on a limb. I think you're right with Young Boy. I think you are actually right. But I'm wondering if it's going to be Ricky Starks. So I'm gonna go Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks. That's who I'm picking.
Okay, you're picking Starks. Okay, yeah, good old Starks. Ricky Starks. Okay.
Ricky Starks.
Okay, so neither one of us picked the very obvious Sean Dean.
Now, if you had told me like Serpentico was going to be in this match, then I would have obviously had my pick,
right?
Or Fuego del Sol. I would obviously have that.
Fuego wins all the matches, right?
Exactly, right. Yeah. So then, yeah, of course. But no, I don't think so.
Oh, I wish like is Bandito on the card tonight? Because my God, where is that guy?
Or Roosh, or like maybe they're going to be the entrants that are coming into this.
Yeah, but anyway, they're not winning it.
I know, that's true.
Anyway, yeah. House of Lucha, Tony, now that you're maybe not as distracted. Anyway, okay. Then we have a couple of title matches. The first one is Samoa Joe, the champion. He's defending the TNT championship against Darby Allin tonight in his open challenge.
This is gonna be a good match. Like Joe, I like this, like how he plays the heel. And I just love he kind of nonchalantly just walks out of the way as someone tries to do like a high fly. So it's going to happen tonight with Darby. Darby's just going to keep hurting himself, but Darby is going to get a few licks in. It's going to be probably like just him throwing himself into Joe, like a torpedo and stuff like that. So Darby's not winning this match because, as Joe said, he's the best television champion ever, right? Or TV, whatever he said. Darby's not winning this match. I was torn. I was actually thinking of picking this match as the match of the night. But I think it's going to be the 1B. So this is not my match of the night, but I think that it is going to be Samoa Joe coming out on top, but I think this is going to be the second best match on the card.
Oh yeah, I have to pick a match of the night out of this stuff tonight, don't I? Oh, I'm going to go with Jake Hager and Daniel Garcia versus Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. I said it. That's my match of the night.
There you go. Okay. And you may not be wrong.
I may not be. Samoa Joe versus Darby Allin, though. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this just for all the reasons you said. Joe's great against a guy like Darby Allin. Darby Allin's going to have some surprise offense, I think. I think it's going to be a really good match. Samoa Joe's winning. Not a chance that he's not winning, so he's winning. Yeah. But I think he's gonna have to like knock Darby out to beat him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Darby's not going down without being absolutely like destroyed. And then we have a match that I cannot wait to discuss. We have the Acclaimed as champions, taking
Mhm.
on FTR for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. This is FTR's shot at getting all 4 titles: AAA, ROH, IWGP, and AEW. You know, this thing that FTR has wanted for so long. And you could have built up for weeks and had discussions about it and feuds and talks and promotion and oh my god, they could be the first 4-time champions. But no, you just announced it on Rampage last week. What?
Yeah. It's weird. So Dax Harwood had an interview recently where he said he doesn't know where FTR is heading, to the point where he even said that they're even considering potentially even taking a year off of TV, like wrestling the indies, because they just love wrestling. Like that's just who they are, right? They're not in it just for the money, everyone. Like they actually love the sport. So yeah, this one is very odd because you're right. It's kind of like whatever happened to the best versus the best for all the belts, the elite versus, no, sorry, the Bucks versus FTR, right? Like, where's that? So if FTR loses tonight, then they're not as good as the Acclaimed. So therefore, they're nowhere close to the Bucks. So I don't know how this in any way builds FTR up in like at all. You never have them on TV. They're wrestling who knows where, right? They come out with all these belts. They should be challenging for the AEW championship, but not like this. Not like a match where we know they're not going to win, right? Right? Unless I think unless maybe there's some type of interference that causes them to lose, which is not technically a loss. Like it's not because they would deserve a rematch. Like maybe that's my only scenario. But if they cleanly lose tonight, this builds zero momentum for them, and actually it decreases momentum for them, even though it's been decreasing for a while now. And I just don't know. It's a very very odd booking. And I like honestly, I'm hoping for Swerve and Keith Lee. That's really what I'm hoping for, right? And as you said in the discussion on Monday, you had said that when that guy called out Keith Lee and said you're always abandoning your friends, and at the back there's Swerve just laughing. Yeah, it's going to be a heel turn for Keith Lee. It's happening slowly, but it's happening. And they're probably going to take the belts off the Acclaimed.
Did you see that promo segment?
I did. I go on and watch it. Yeah. It was actually pretty
I just
good.
love the look on Swerve's face behind him. I laughed so hard when the camera pans back and Swerve's just standing there
smiling.
grinning. I'm
yeah.
like, oh my god.
Yeah. No, Swerve is awesome.
Yeah.
Swerve is awesome. So yeah, this is gonna be my match of the night. I'm choosing it right now. From everything what I just said, like these teams, like these two teams, like I really like the Acclaim. FTR really is one of the best tag teams I've ever seen. So I mean, at this point, like they can't really have a bad match. I think what might take away a little from this is depending on how it ends. Because if, again, as I said, if the Acclaim beat FTR cleanly, I'm really not going to like that. Because I'm like, what's the point of this match? Like, it was originally supposed to be the basically FTR versus the Young Bucks. And at this point, who cares? Like, if they lose, who cares, FTR, if you face the Young Bucks now?
Yeah, it's no build going. I'm just this whole match. I've got like this prickly annoyance about it because this could have been something great. We all wanted it to be something great. And look, I got news for you. Maybe everyone but me loves the Acclaimed. That's fine. But they are not in the same conversation as FTR. They are not in the same conversation as the Young Bucks. They're not in the same conversation as the Lucha Brothers. They're not in the same conversation as Aussie Open. You're not in the same conversation as a number of tag teams in the world, the Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, you're not in the same league as these guys yet. You've been pushed because you have an opening gimmick and are pretty decent in the ring. That's why you're the tag team champions. You're not the tag team champions because you can wrestle better than FTR, because you can't.
Yep.
Right. And the fact that it is these guys that FTR is going to face. Yeah. You know what? I'm sure it'll be a decent match because when the Acclaimed are in the ring with someone who's better than them, they tend to put on a good match.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I'm not as enamored of them as other people are, and that's fine. I don't have to be. Right? I get it. I understand why people love this stuff, right? People love their chant alongs and stuff. That's fine. Everyone but me loves the Acclaimed, and that's cool. I love FTR.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
I
do I.
cannot wait till January 4th when I get to watch FTR against what is probably going to be Aussie Open, since they are currently running away with the tournament. But of course, no one runs away with these tournaments in Japan. There will be people coming back. So, yeah, but I really, really hope it is Aussie Open and we get Aussie Open FTR 2, which to me is a far more exciting match. Far more exciting match than this. One, because it involves the United Empire. Two, because it gives FTR a tag team that is at their level,
Yep.
right? And we've already seen what FTR and Aussie Open can do when they're in a ring together, and it is insane. So, this, I don't even know what to, but you're right. I mean, every outcome of this is bad in some way.
It's
One,
odd.
FTR wins, they get the belts. Do we really think that's going to happen, first of all? I kind of doubt it, but I do think it's a possibility.
I don't. I'm actually gonna put a guarantee on this. FTR is not winning this match.
I'm giving them a 25% chance to win this.
They're not getting the belts. They're definitely not getting the belts.
Okay. Now I think there is a slim chance they might. Especially if Swerve and Keith screw the other guys. But then FTR gets the belts with like a blemish on it, right? Yeah. And that's terrible. So yeah, if they're winning, they're winning clean.
Yeah.
If they lose, you're right. That takes a tag team that you almost never see anymore on AEW television and shoves them down the ladder.
Yep.
For what? To pump up the Acclaimed? It'd be one thing if they were beaten by the Lucha Brothers. It'd be one thing if they were beaten by the Young Bucks, like an epic match. This is a pay-per-view level match, and we're getting it on a throwaway Texas Dynamite. Oh, anyway. Yeah. I don't like this. I don't like it from any way I look at it. And I don't like going into Dynamite thinking that way. It's like I'm looking at this whole card going, where's my, I know it's not happening this week, but where's my Elite versus Death triangle?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh man, they're not here this week. What the heck? Oh. It's funny, because you hate Pro WWE Insider or Illustrated.
Pro WWE Illustrated.
They released their top tag teams 2022, and the Usos won.
Yeah, I know. This is why I told you not to talk about this because I will just get angry.
And Dax Harwood tweeted against it and said, "Did Paul Heyman write this? Because it's full of shit and lies."
You didn't see my response to his tweet?
Oh no, I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, well I responded to his tweet.
Yeah, but he's yeah, but yeah, no, I very odd match to book. I hope the outcome is better than what we're expecting. Like who knows? Bill? Maybe Aussie Open jumps FTR and Swerve and Our Glory jumps the Acclaimed, and then just leave them in a bloody mess and the match can't continue. Right. Who knows, right?
Yep. See, here's what I said, just for the record. I said, Dax speaks truth. This is nuts. How is the number one tag team in a company that couldn't care less about tag teams? This was FTR's year, period. Just look at their matches. So many match of the year candidates.
Yeah.
And
no, I agree with you.
Story.
That's it.
But they're Pro WWE Illustrated for a reason. So
that's very true. Very true.
Well, we probably yacked on longer than we
normally do. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So why don't we go watch ourselves an episode of AEW Dynamite and hope the House of Black attack during every match.
Every match. I'm down for that. I'm like I hope the House of Black just beats up every single person except for like the JAS match. They can leave them alone, but everyone else just go out, and maybe Joe. But this go be
Jade Cargill match.
The Jade Cargill. Hey, why
Julia
can't
Hart takes out all 6 of them?
Yeah.
Cool. Anyway, okay, let's go find out if that happens. We will be back. And that was a Dynamite without the Elite or Death Triangle. AEW this week came to us from, like I said, the HEB. They claimed it was in Austin, but their
Yeah.
actual graphic they put up for AEW was Cedar Park. So I guess Cedar Park's probably close to Austin. Who knows? We have Taz, Excalibur, and Tony on commentary, and we start off with the Diamond Battle Royale, and Ricky Starks comes out first. Most of the combatants are already in the ring. We also get Jungle Boy coming out after Ricky Starks, and then Dustin Rhodes as a surprise entrant. The winner will face MJF for control of the ring, and in a different thing they said from previous times, the winner will pick when and where. So anyway, the combatants are Jungle Boy, Ethan Page, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, Matt Hardy, Sean Dean, Dalton Castle. Those are the ones we knew about. And then they added in Dustin Rhodes, Orange Cassidy, Lee Moriarty, Butcher, and Kip Sabian. There's also many faction members at ringside, mainly from the firm and from, like, I guess the Blade was out there to support the Butcher. I'm missing some people, I'm sure. There just seemed to be an awful lot of people around that ring. Anyway, there's a huge "Let's Go Ricky" chant to start this off. He apparently resides in Austin now.
Yeah.
So then immediately we get Orange Cassidy gets eliminated. I think he was the first one eliminated. Yeah, and then we had the Blade eliminate Orange Cassidy from the outside, so it was kind of like cheating to get rid of him. Rhodes hit a Canadian Destroyer on Kip and tossed him out of the ring. Butcher eliminates Dustin with a lariat on the apron. The Boys saved Castle from elimination by Brian Cage 3 times. When Brian Cage was like hitting him, he'd fall back into the Boys. The Boys would push him back up. Cage would hit him. He'd fall back. Then the Boys carried him around to another side, and Cage just picks him up and tosses him out. Jack Perry eliminated Cage then, though, with an apron Meteora, of all the things to eliminate someone with. That was pretty cool. Stark spears Butcher off the apron, and then Jungle Boy eliminates Moriarty, but then Morrissey pulls Jungle Boy down, ending Bill's dream of being right about the ending of this match. And then choke slams him onto the apron in what was just a
Oh
vicious
God.
looking
Yeah.
apron choke slam. So then we're
Hopefully
down to the
he's
final.
okay. Like that. Oh,
Yeah, I know that was vicious. I know. I think he's fine. If you like when they did the replay, it's
it
like
didn't look
his
as bad. Yeah.
yeah
Yeah.
the broad part of his shoulders kind of hits first.
Yeah.
He's fine. Like I said, these are trained professionals.
The first
Um,
time he did it looked like his neck hit, and that's why I
I
was
know,
concerned.
right? It just looked so vicious.
Yeah.
Then we get the final four. We've got Sean
Captain
Dean.
Shadeen.
Yep, Sean Dean. As now I forget his name. Why do I forget his name? Because he's one of the final four. Sean Dean, Matt Hardy, Ricky Starks, and Ethan Page. Ethan is making Hardy fight for him, of course, because they still have that whole contract thing going on. So Hardy saved Page from Dean eliminating him, and then Page tells him to eliminate Dean, but Hardy tells him to do it himself, so Page does. Page then yells at Hardy. Hardy does the delete thing, but they gang up on Starks. Hardy goes for the twist of fate, but Starks reverses it and eliminates him. So this leaves just Page versus Starks in the ring. There's a tornado DDT on Page, but Page counters the spear into a roundhouse kick. He tries to throw Ricky over, but gets countered, and Ricky tosses him out. Ricky Starks is the winner of the Battle Royal. Shall we discuss that first before we go on to the post-match shenanigans?
Yeah. It was okay. I didn't understand the entire like let everyone cheat in this match. Like this isn't a lumberjack match or anything like that. So why even have those people out there, and then why even allow those eliminations the way they happen? Yes, some people were outside the ring a little bit, but you're literally allowing interference. Like the entire thing was just a sheer interference after interference after interference, right? So I didn't really understand that part. It got kind of annoying because everyone was kind of getting eliminated by outside interference. So then what's the point? But yeah, and the match itself, like it was quick. Most of the people were down there before the show even started, right? So a couple of people got entrances like Jungle Boy, obviously Ricky Starks, and then Dustin Rhodes, because well, as we know, Dustin Rhodes said recently that this might be his last year wrestling. So give him something, right? But yeah, I mean, this match didn't suck. It was good, but I've seen better battle royales recently, and that's why I was kind of like, okay, whatever. I mean, I even though I knew I called Ricky Starks winning, um, something confuses me at the ending of this show when Excalibur says it. So I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But anyways, yeah, Ricky Starks won, and good on him. Don't know what they're gonna do with uh Ethan Page now, but yeah, I don't know. It was actually, you know what? They caught me for a second. I thought Ethan Page was going to win. Like when Starks missed his move and Ethan Page hit him and would picked
Mhm.
him up, I was like, oh, here it is. Here's where Ethan Page wins. And then the reversal caught me totally off guard. I was like, what the heck just happened there? I thought
Right.
they messed up, but that was pretty cool. So overall, I mean, the match wasn't bad, but I've just seen so many better battle royales that
Yeah.
this one seemed average to me.
Yeah, the interference killed it.
Yeah.
Like it was just so much interference. Why those people were like, and it was to the point to where even the announcers were confused because at one
Mhm.
point they said Blade's in the match, and he
Yes.
wasn't. He was just a
This.
dude at ringside. So it's like the announcers didn't even know who was supposed to be in this
Hmm.
match. It was a bit of a clusterfuck.
Hmm.
And I'm going to tell you something. I watched a Stardom Battle Royale today. It was on, and it's on from one of their house shows, house
Hmm.
show Battle Royale. Way better than this. Way better than this. And it wasn't exactly what I would call like a top 10 Stardom match or anything like that, right?
Hmm.
But it was just done better, right? I mean, this just felt like a mess. I'm watching it going, wow, this is a mess. Right. There wasn't a lot of emotion between the participants. You had that little bit of crap between Ethan Page and Matt Hardy because of their silly contract thing.
Contract, yeah.
That's really it. You had Moriarty beat the crap out of Orange Cassidy, and I
Hmm.
mean,
That was it.
okay. Like it just the whole thing to me was just okay, whatever. Okay,
Yeah,
like it was
same.
a vehicle to get Ricky Starks to add the diamond ring to his championship match, which also I'm like,
That makes no
couldn't he just pick
sense.
a different day to have a
That
different match?
and I'm hoping they messed that up. I'm really hoping they mess it up, or that they messed up that because when Excalibur says it later on in the night, where he's like, now next week, not only is it going to be the championship, it's going to be the diamond. I'm like, why is he doing them together? This makes no sense to me
Well,
right now.
he said he was going to do it last week, right? Ricky Starks said, "Oh yeah, that way I'll take everything from him in one
Oh
shot."
no. So
I
so
know.
so Tony Khan decided that MJF is going to not only beat Ricky Starks for the belts or
Mhm.
retain, but he's also going to keep 4 years straight diamond ring.
Yep,
Like,
exactly. Because he needs that diamond ring because it's just part of his gimmick now. They might as well just retire the diamond
yeah,
ring battle
what's the
royale and just give
purpose?
him the diamond ring.
What's the purpose? Exactly.
Yeah,
I don't understand the purpose anymore.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Anyway, so speaking of MJF, MJF hits the hits yeah, MJF hits his music.
Hey.
MJF's music hits and he comes to the ring. And he gets in the ring and he tells Starks to hang on a sec because he's got to talk to someone else because he couldn't just tweet it or something. Brian Danielson, Birdie told me you didn't want to show up because you're terrified of me. After what I did to Regal, I'd be scared too because I'm a bad, bad man. That's why a week from now, I'll be a 4-time Dynamite Diamond Ring champion and I'll still be the holder of the Triple B. So then he turns to Ricky. Now, Richard, these people seem to really like you. You know, Ricky, they talk about you like an underutilized god of professional wrestling. But here's the truth. In comparison to me, you're the absolute drizzling shits. Or should I say, you're a Rudy Poo candy ass, considering you stole everything else from that guy. You're a dollar store Dwayne. You're the pebble. So next week, I'm going to drive you to the nearest body of water, take you out of my pocket, and skip you back to Billy Corgan's NWA so you can wrestle on YouTube where you belong. My reign of terror has just begun. Ricky then gets a mic and says, well, Maxi Pad, which the crowd loved this and
Loved.
began to chant Maxi Pad. This was actually great. I should have expected a fifth rate Roddy Piper to come out here and steal the spotlight. Ooh, you trash the city. Ooh, you trash the people. I'm like, Ricky, you are speaking for me right now. The low hanging fruit is running dry. You come out here smelling like paint thinner and ass. You have so much spray tan on you. Your clothes and your haircut sucks. You elaborated much more than that. I'm giving you the abbreviated
Hmm.
and you think you're better than me, give me a break. Everything about you screams cheap, cheap suits, cheap shoes, cheap heat. Hallelujah. And you're our champion. With that championship comes a big responsibility you know nothing about. When they got behind me, I gave them a reason to keep going. You let them down, but I deliver every single time. You can take your little ass to Greece for 3 months because you got out politicked by someone smarter than you. Man. But you avoid responsibility and pressure. You don't show up to meet and greets because everyone hates me. I live with dignity and respect. You know nothing about that. When I lived in my car, I was grinding. I was taking care of myself. When I was grinding, I knew I had to take care of that woman. And I guess his wife is at ringside.
I think so.
Yeah. Next week is a big deal because I'm putting it up and shutting you up for once in our life. I'm Ricky Starks. Next week, I'm stomping the smile off your neck. I'm stomping the mole off your neck and taking the title. I'm going to do you a favor you've never had done in your life. I'm going to take the responsibility off your plate, little boy. And then MJF kicks him in the groin, goes to the ring, but Starks spears him. And that pretty much ends the segment.
Yeah. It's funny because MJF like calls Ricky Starks out on being like the Rock, and I had said that a while back. Like Ricky Starks reminds me of the Rock, right?
Yep.
I'm like, just the way he carries himself and everything reminds me of like a younger Rock. But Ricky Starks is extremely good in the ring. So I mean, you know, Dwayne Johnson was good. Ricky Starks is better. Let's just be real there. Maybe not his mic skills yet.
Or his sports entertainment ability.
Yeah.
Which, you know, The Rock had. But Ricky Starks is a better wrestler.
Yeah. But I mean, like, yeah, as I said, he's very young. The Rock just wasn't gifted with the stuff. He had to work on it, right?
Do you remember the Rocky Maivia
exactly.
way back in the beginning?
Exactly. Yeah. It wasn't good. No. But The Rock has charisma, and that's exactly what oozes from Ricky. So I know I like this. The fact that then Ricky goes on to literally call MJF out on everything that you were talking about earlier, right? Every single little thing, right? Being like like a fifth rate Piper, interrupting and basically reaching for the low hanging fruits, doing exactly the heel stuff, like insulting the city and stuff like that. It's like, dude, like, he's right. In the ring, you're nothing compared to me in the ring, right? And kind of bringing up the fact that the AEW Championship means something, and it's responsibility, which MJF doesn't have, right? So it's very interesting. Like they've fully built up Ricky Starks as this babyface to face MJF next week, and that's what I kind of hate. It's like it's just next week, and then what happens when he loses, right?
Yeah, when he loses, exactly, because there's no way they're taking the belt off MJF right now. There's no way. So Ricky Starks has been set up to lose.
Immediately lose, exactly. So I don't understand where this is going, unless, like, God forbid, like MJF hires the firm again to like interfere, and that starts a feud between Ricky and Ethan Page. But I really don't even care for that, to be honest with you. Like, I want to see Ricky Starks take on like Jungle Boy, like a Darby Allin. I want to see like good matches. No offense to Ethan Page. I want to see some good matches. And these guys are capable of it. So yeah, I really liked the promo. I did. But just knowing what's coming is just not sitting well with me.
Yeah. Ricky Starks wins a promo battle against MJF.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? But I mean, seriously, he won this hands down. He had more fire. He had more passion. He had more truth in what he was saying. He didn't sound contrived. MJF just keeps coming out and sounding contrived. It's the same old crap every week. Blah, blah, town. I mean, Ricky was dead on. Blah, blah, town. Blah, blah, people. Oh my God, I'm so amazing and you all suck. It's just, okay, we get it. Oh, I'm rich.
Exactly. He even called him out on that. You're making so much money. Great. Like, good for you, right? Because you did all stuff, like, and calling him out on the skipping the fan signing and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hanging out 3 months in Greece because you got out politicked. Yeah, that was
by a smarter guy.
By a smarter guy. Yeah, I know that's it's pretty great. So Ricky Starks knows that the fruit can also be found in the middle and top of the tree, and it was pretty good. So yeah, no, I was very impressed with Ricky Starks. It's too bad he's losing the match next week, but Ricky, I'm more on board now than I have been before. So good job.
Yeah, I like Ricky Starks. I think he's good.
Yep. We have a quick promo segment with Darby Allin and Samoa Joe just promoting their match later. Darby's like, people think I've been forgotten about. Joe, you'll have to bury me with the championship. Prophetic words. Joe
I know.
says, you see a crucible you need to put yourself through, but tonight you learn curiosity has a price that's about to get really expensive.
I love Joe.
I love Joe. Then we get a Mox promo backstage. He's like, you think last week got out of hand? I don't. I like Hangman. He fell off his horse, dusted himself off, and did the talking with his fists. There's not enough of that around here. This is all elite wrestling, not all elite talking. It's not the Blackpool Talking Club. This is the sport of kings. I'll be out there later with Claudio and Yuta.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I love that Mox. I love the fact that Moxie was like, he puts over Hangman again.
Yep.
Just puts over Hangman. You
Yep.
know, I respect that. He got knocked off. He got up, dusted himself off, and he came at me with his fist. I was like, good on you, Mox. Like, seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, totally.
And
Like,
it's not all elite talking.
No,
Why is there so much talking on this show now?
He's so right. And he's so right. This is not all elite talking. It's all elite wrestling, right? It's about promos and stuff. Like, you know where I am. If you want to find me, you know where I am, kind of thing. Like,
yep.
I love that. So yeah, no, obviously just another like great promo from Mox. Like, that's it.
It's the one thing I think that bugs me. It's just we get so much talking. I want wrestling. You have so many wrestlers. I don't know if I'm just getting spoiled because, you know, every New Japan show I turn on, every Stardom show I turn on, it's just matches. It's match after match. There's the occasional little bit of mic stuff, match after match after match after match, right? All I watch is wrestling, but that's what I want to watch. And when I turn on AEW, my God, you've got some of the best wrestlers in the world here. I want to watch them, you know,
fight.
Wrestle.
Yeah, I want to see them fight.
So Mox, again, dude, I'm with you.
Yep.
No more all elite talking. It's not the Blackpool Talking Club. That's right. So anyway, we get to the Blackpool Talking Club. I want to see segments with that. They're just backstage talking. Anyway, TNT Championship match. We get Darby Allin taking on the champion Samoa Joe. Well, Darby goes right at Joe with a drop kick. Joe rolls out, but Joe rolls out of the ring, and then he just calmly, you called it, he calmly sidesteps the dive, which Darby overshot and goes crashing into the rail. Oh, Darby. Joe then battering rams Darby into the rail again. I just wrote here, Darby is dead.
Yep.
Joe peels back the mat. He tosses Darby onto his hip onto another part of the mat. Darby breaks Joe's grip when he's going to throw him onto the concrete. But when he runs at Joe then does the spinning power slam and nails Darby right onto the concrete. Joe gets him back and rolls him back into the ring, and then he stands over Darby, golf clapping for a moment at Darby. He then takes Darby apart for quite a while. You get dueling chants. This audience is really split between Joe and Darby. Then you get a spot where Joe runs Darby along the apron and bounces his head off the ring post head first, sending him flying. But Darby beats the count. Gets back in the ring. Joe does a Manhattan drop, followed by a big boot and then a senton for two. Darby gets caught, but Joe in the outside sends him in. Darby gets caught by Joe when he runs to the outside, but Joe sends him into the steps. There's a coffin drop to the outside on Joe. He rolls Joe in as he's starting his big comeback. He goes for the coffin splash. This gets countered, but he hits the stunner and a code red on Joe for two. Darby then charges Joe in the corner, but Joe STOs him out of the corner. Not just an elbow, not just a leg. He STOs him out of the corner. Joe sets up for the muscle buster, but Darby bites him. There's a coffin drop, but Joe catches the coffin drop into the coquina clutch, and Darby submits.
Yeah. This is exactly what I thought this match is going to be and what it needed to be as well, right? You know, Darby Allin saying you got to kill me to stop me from beating you, and Joe basically doing so. I love the beat down on the outside. I love how instead of Joe rolling in to break the count, he throws Darby Allin in and pulls him back out. Yeah. And I was like, I have never seen that before. Holy crap, Joe. This is so awesome. And you're right, the
Nope.
fans were torn. Like
Mm-hmm.
they didn't like as Darby said in his promo, the fans chant, Joe's gonna kill you, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, Joe, that's what you have to do. And I'm like, wow, Joe, like you look at Darby Allin's skin during the match. I was like, holy
Mm-hmm.
crap, dude. Like calm the F down. Like even when Joe was like smacking him against the barricades and stuff, I was like, oh my God, that he's just throwing him. He's absolutely just throwing this guy. And yeah, I actually I really like this match. I really did enjoy
Yep.
this match because it just it makes Joe out to be this big monster still, which he is. I didn't realize he's over 300 pounds. Well, when you
Mm-hmm.
see him, you're like, no, you're not 300 pounds. But this guy's over 300 pounds.
He's
Holy crap.
solid.
He is
Yeah.
huge. So the fact that Darby Allin weighs what, maybe a buck 20,
Mm-hmm.
there was no way that Joe was winning this match, and they play this match perfectly. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Darby got a bit of offense on Joe here, but this was an
Yep.
absolute just destroying of Darby Allin. And this doesn't hurt Darby in any way because
No.
again, Joe is champion. He's like double, triple your size.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I really, really like this match.
Yeah. Me too. To be honest, it's my match of the night.
Oh, I was wondering. Okay, okay,
Yeah,
fair
no,
enough. I
I
can't.
like this a lot. I like the story
Yeah.
in it. Darby with like the promos they cut at the beginning, the way they came out, Darby's like, "You're gonna have to kill me," and
Hmm.
Joe's like, "Hold my beer," right? So, Joe kills him.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely kills him, but it doesn't stop Darby from getting some really good
Hmm.
offensive flurries. And there was that brief moment when he went up for the coffin drop inside the ring. I'm like, is he gonna pull this off? Right? Because I'm like, holy crap. Because I thought to myself, they're in Texas. He won, like, they mentioned he won a big match of his
Hmm.
career there. He's a forgotten dude. I'm like, it wouldn't hurt Joe to lose one of those two championships. Right? I'm like, would they give it to Darby Allin? Would this be like kind of a big surprise win? They kind of pulled me
Hmm.
in a little bit. I'm like, I kind of doubt it, but they sucked me in enough to get me into the story.
That's
Right? They
fair.
sucked me in enough to have me enjoy this match just that much more. And that finish, I loved the finish, the way he countered the coffin drop
Hmm.
and just trapped him into the coquina clutch and it was done. I was like, that was a brilliant finish. Good
Yeah.
job, guys. And the fact that Darby got a code red off on
Hmm.
Samoa Joe, I'm like,
Yeah.
holy crap, that guy's 300
300
pounds.
pounds. No.
Yeah, yeah, so I loved this match. I loved it. They both worked their asses off. They both played their roles to perfection. It was so much the underdog baby face just trying and almost gets there and then the big heel takes him down. So,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I loved this match. Great match. I mean, it's not going to win any awards or anything, but on this night, on this particular Dynamite, it gets match of the night.
There you go.
Hmm. So yeah, we then also had a little bit after the match where Darby pushes Samoa Joe because apparently he didn't take enough punishment. So Joe headbutts him, gets the skateboard, gives him a
Oh
muscle
God,
buster on the
no.
upturned skateboard, locks him in a rear naked choke, and then of course Wardlow comes out, party time, excellent. Joe retreats.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those like I don't know, like I don't care.
Exactly. It's like long pause. Krishna thinks, do I need to say anything about this?
No, I don't care because Wardlow like you've lost momentum.
Hmm.
Like, do you have fans? Because I'm pretty sure that people are still cheering Joe on,
Yeah.
right? And he's a better champion. So,
Oh yeah, and Joe's a better badass than Wardlow
hmm,
will ever be right now. I
yeah,
mean, hey, again, Wardlow's young, maybe someday,
yeah.
right?
You give him time, but I
Yep.
feel like if they do have a rematch, I think Wardlow,
Mm.
I think sorry, Samoa Joe should beat him.
Oh, of course.
Like, just destroy him in that match.
Yeah, no, I love Joe. Joe needs to keep
Yeah,
these belts for a while because he is the king of TV.
yes, yes.
Yes. So then we have Tony backstage. He's there with Orange Cassidy and Kip Sabian. They have agreed to no contact.
Even
I
though
like
they're
how they
fighting in the
have
ring.
to emphasize that because otherwise, this isn't all elite talking. They will wrestle.
Yeah.
So anyway, Orange Cassidy says, Kip, I don't know what you're doing. If you want a shot at the title, you can just ask. You don't have to go through all this stuff to get a shot. Kip's like, well, yeah, now you wait for until I get an unprovoked attack from Dustin Rhodes to give me the title shot. You don't even want me at full strength. And he goes, well, if you're not going to fight me, then find someone who can. And then Kip does something that I totally missed. And Orange Cassidy turns to Tony and says, does that mean yes? Tony says, yes. On Rampage, you'll fight someone of Kip's choosing for the title.
Yeah, yeah. He just kind of like when he told Kip kind of just grabbed his chin and was like, okay, and then he walked away, and then Cassie was like, does that mean yes? Like I don't. He was so confused. But yeah, no, I very curious to find out who Kip Sabian's gonna pick,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Penelope Ford.
that would be kind of funny if Penelope before it shows up. Yeah, on Rampage, which is
Mm-hmm.
kind of weird because Rampage is taped tonight.
Is it? Yeah.
Or maybe it's not. Maybe actually gonna have it on Friday. I don't know. But like I was gonna say, Orange Cassidy wrestles 2 matches, which makes kind of sense because he wrestled in the first match and he was out pretty quickly. Let's be real. He was the
Yes.
first person out, right? So
Mm-hmm.
technically speaking, if it's taped tonight, he can fight tonight. But yeah, no. I again, Orange Cassidy with the belt, it's just funny. I'm glad Kip Sabian's back on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad, right? That's
Yep.
good, right? So, and I do, I like when they show the recap of the attack on Orange Cassidy. I'm like, okay, maybe I might
Yeah.
be into this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we'll see where this goes.
Yep.
I'm just curious who's gonna bring to fight him.
Yeah. Well, the best people too can all do 2 matches a night, right? Pac,
Yeah,
he's
that's
quite
true.
capable of 2 matches a
That's
night,
true.
right? Mayu Iwatani,
Yep.
right? Because I mean, the show that I'm currently watching from Stardom, I'm just going to keep name dropping Stardom people. You should all be watching it. Her and her tag team partner both have to fight twice on the same card within like half an hour of their previous
Oh
match,
wow.
45 minutes of their previous match. So, you know, there you go. And there was a rounding bout of silence. Okay, so and then at this point, they go to a commercial break, and I find out the Stardom has put up their Tag League finals on Stardom World, and I'm like, yes. Okay. Anyway, we come back. Jericho. He says what started out as a desecration of Ring of Honor led me to become the greatest Ring of Honor tag team or Ring of Honor tag. See, I've got tag teams on my mind. I've watched so much tag team wrestling in the last few weeks. Has become the greatest ROH champion of all time. What an irony. Claudio, joining the JAS will be the best thing that ever happened to you. I'm pretty sure he's joining the J. Actually, maybe not. I say I was pretty sure he was joining it, but now I'm not so sure anymore.
Yeah,
But we'll get to that in a
we'll get to
minute.
that in a
Yeah,
bit.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So we now get the match. Jake Hager and Daniel Garcia of the Jericho Appreciation Society taking on Claudio Castagnoli and Wheeler Yuta. The Blackpool Combat Club comes out together, and by that I mean Castagnoli and Yuta are, as Moxley said earlier, coming out with John Moxley. And Sammy Guevara comes out with the Jericho Appreciation Society. Yuta and Hager started off. Hager tossed a hat to Claudio. Claudio then bundles it up and gives it a big kick, and it just kind of drops to ringside next to him. Anyway, the match goes back and forth for a bit. Yuta eventually gets a middle drop kick and to Hager, slams Garcia, and a tope takes them both down. But when he goes to the top, Garcia tosses him off into Hager, then slams him down, gives him the Hager bomb. Yuta gets Garcia in a superplex, but Garcia tags Hager in. They beat Yuta down for a long time. Garcia kicks in a sleeper hold, but he fights out. Or Garcia locks in a sleeper, kicks in a sleeper hold, locks in a sleeper hold, but he fights out. There's a release German by Yuta, and both are down. There's a hot tag to Claudio, who then goes nuts on Hager with uppercuts and strikes. I mean, like nuts.
yeah.
He does a Hurricane Rana off the top, goes for a giant swing, but Garcia interrupts it. Hager then goes for the ankle lock, but that gets countered. Hager goes for a slam, but Claudio counters that into a giant swing for 7,000 rotations if you count how the crowd counts. There's a lariat for 2. The Gotch pile driver by Claudio is countered. Hager then gets the ankle lock put on. Garcia puts the Dragon Tamer on Yuta, but Claudio breaks out, gives a giant uppercut to Hager, and that's the 3.
Yeah, we'll talk about the aftermath in a bit. I
Mm-hmm.
like this match. This match was fun. Exactly what we thought it was gonna be, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a sports entertainment, but a lot of wrestling in this match, right? Not
Yes.
too much sports entertainment, a lot of wrestling in this match, which I appreciated. Well, and these 4 guys, we know that they're good, pretty good wrestlers, so there wasn't a doubt in my mind. I did like the play about the hat and they want Claudio, which is kind of making me feel like he's going to join them. But we'll get to that in a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I like again from the first sorry from the Joe match, and then this one I was like, okay, you know what, Dynamite's been pretty good so far. I'm actually like the first match with the Battle Royale, I was like, whatever. But then the Joe match was great. Then this match was good, and I was like, okay, you know what, we've got a bit of a rhythm here going here. So yeah, no, I like this match. I thoroughly like this match.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. It was
Yeah.
solid. It was fun. The interference wasn't so much that it ruined the match. You just got typical interference you'd expect from Sammy and stuff. And you got a rousing chant from the crowd, Sammy sucks. Um, yeah, it was good. I mean, it was well put together. There was a lot of hard hitting stuff. There was a lot of decent wrestling stuff. I think there was a very slow spot in the middle where there was a very long headlock spot. And
Mhm.
this was like the theme of the night with AEW was long headlock spots, like really long headlock spots, right?
I think those spots that you're referring to, because you're watching this on Fight TV, right?
Yes. Yes,
I
that's
think
right,
those are
people. I am no longer on TSN. TSN can go to HE double hockey sticks.
yeah,
So
I
yeah.
think you're watching the that's the commercial
It
breaks.
is. I know when the
Yeah.
commercial break happens because the announcers slightly change their tones, right? They
Okay,
get a
okay,
little
okay.
less excited and they're more just talking about the match. And then all of a sudden it's like, and we're back with, and I'm like, yeah, but still, it's part of the match. Like I'm
I know.
seeing the whole match now, and that's still
Fair enough.
part of the match. We don't get to eliminate the section that comes during the
That's
commercial
true.
break,
That's
right?
true.
So yeah, there was a very long headlock spot in the middle. It's like you can still wrestle during the commercial break, people. It's possible. You don't just need to put a guy in a headlock. But I mean, look, they weren't as bad defenders as the one that's coming up later.
hmm
Okay, the one that's coming up later is like way worse than this one. But anyway, no, solid match. I enjoyed this quite a bit. I mean, these four guys are great. So yeah. Um, and then Tony comes into the ring with the Blackpool Combat Club and he says, there's been a lot of talk about Full Gear. And here's an interview I did with William Regal a few weeks back. And Tony says to Regal, Full Gear was unbelievable. What was going through your mind? And William Regal says, people will only see this if something bad happens to me. It's like his death letter or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
If you're seeing this, I am
I'm
already
already
dead.
dead.
MJF, I took great exception with what you did, with what he did to you. And he's referring to what MJF did to Tony. I took great exception. And then, MJF took great exception to a bunch of emails. Well, you know what? I gave him what he wanted. And you know the old saying, be careful what you wish for. Now everyone is coming for him. The Blackpool Combat Club doesn't need me. The three main guys are fine. They can teach Yuta. Mox will understand. I did what I did to lead by example. Keep eyes in the back of your head. I'm Blackpool Combat Club until the day I die. And then they go back to Mox, and Mox is in the ring. He gets the mic and he says, all I know is one thing for sure. The three men in this ring live and breathe for the sport of professional wrestling. You can call us what you want. This is a war on December 10th with the Jericho Appreciation Society, and it's over. These men are making a statement. This Friday on Rampage, I make a statement. I challenge any wrestler in the world. Pro wrestling is about to make a serious statement.
Yeah, I love the fact that it bounces back to Moxie. Looks kind of confused. It's like what? And then he starts his time. You know, I didn't hate this. I really didn't. I actually thought the way they did this was actually kind of classy. Now knowing everything that we know about William Regal leaving, this had class written all over it. The fact that he comes out and says, "These guys don't need me. I've taught them everything I need to teach them." And Mox and Castagnoli and Danielson can teach Yuta, and I'm like, yeah, they can. They really can. And I like this as almost like a little send off for Regal. So I appreciated that. And I like the fact where he's like, I did what I did because I wanted to teach the level on the last lesson. You always have to keep like eyes behind your head. And I was like, okay, you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay. No, ironically, he got punched in the back of the head. But I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But you know, then going back to Mox and then him saying they're going to make a statement. I am very confused here because Castagnoli just picked up the win. He picked up the win for against JS. Will they beat Jericho and Garcia? I don't know, because if Jericho's going down this greatest of all time, or if they consider his run already has been the greatest ROH run of all time, then yeah, I can see Castagnoli. I keep messing his name, Claudio, picking up the win. But what's really confusing me right now is the fact that he just picked up the win today, right? If they had lost today, I'd been like, yep, Claudio's winning the belt on
You're reading too
Saturday.
much into it. It's
I
okay
am
for a
reading too
guy
much into it.
for a guy to win one match and then win another match. You know, it can happen.
It can, but I'm just curious, like, because with Jericho with that belt has, put name on ROH right now, right? He's carried that. He's carried it. I'm not gonna lie. Jericho's been carrying ROH on his back, literally. So Claudio can win. Claudio's not Chris Jericho. That's all I gotta say.
No.
Right?
But Chris Jericho has a tour with Fozzy going on right now.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with this one.
So
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Castagnoli has a very strong chance of winning this match on thing. And it wouldn't surprise me if Yuta gets that title back from Garcia either.
And they said after today, after Saturday, it's done. The Blackpool Combat Club versus the JS, it's done. So okay. Yeah, maybe. I didn't realize that Jericho was going on tour with Fozzy. So that kind of makes sense that he
that's why he wasn't there tonight.
Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah. Okay. All right, so that's interesting. And again, these guys deserve some time off, time off for Jericho's touring. But yeah, no, I think you might be right. I think Claudio's gonna probably take that belt. Danielson missing again, right? That's interesting.
No, I mean he's at Regal's bedside storyline, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
And I guess that's gonna play into the whole MJF thing. But yeah, I like this promo. I like what happened with this, and a classy way of getting rid of somebody.
Yeah, sure. No, I was fine with the. I mean, it's a little bit. Oh, really? The whole time I was working to help you guys. Okay, sure.
Yeah, sure you were.
I mean, you might as well because, you guys flipped back and forth constantly for like weeks anyway. So sure, why not do one more final? Make sure you leave a good guy flip, right? So yeah, it's fine. Whatever. You go out fine. You tell what I liked about it though was that it said the Blackpool Combat Club doesn't need me. They'll exist without me.
Yeah.
Because they finally got around to addressing the fate of the Blackpool Combat Club, right? John Moxley's their leader, and they're going to go forward.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I like that a lot. John Moxley is the leader of this stable. That works for me. We'll have to see how Brian Danielson fits into it, but
yeah, I mean, I guess they still honor it by keeping the name because they named it after William Regal, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's fine. I'm okay with this. Like because you're right, John Moxley is still the leader of this, and yeah.
Oh, 100%. Well, then we have a promo from the House of Black. The House of Black have returned and declared war. And Malachi says, this company has allowed itself to be corrupted by people who point fingers at others while they hold shovels for the graves they dig for them. Perhaps it is time for the House to put down the corruption. Ms. Hart, what's the crime? The crime is treason. Buddy Murphy, what's the verdict? War. Brody King, what's the sentence? We throw meat to a pack of dogs. We tear the meat from the bones. The sentence is extermination. Malachi, anyone has a problem with what we said or have done? Well, next Wednesday, we'll be here. Come one, come all.
Yeah. First of all, Malachi looking good. Like he looks like he went away and whatever he had to do to clean himself up, he did it, and he's looking like he's in tip-top shape right now. So awesome. These guys are so awesome. Right? Miss Hart, what is the verdict? Mr. Matthews, what did he say? What is the
did I call him Murphy? Oh my god.
Murphy,
I did. Yeah. I called him Buddy Murphy, didn't I?
Did.
Oh my god.
Mr. Matthews,
I'm so sorry, buddy. I'm having a great night.
And then Mr. King. It's how they come into frame and they all just get this like fade back. So cool. Like these guys are so awesome. And they're in action next week. So yeah, I'm wondering what's gonna happen. Like are the factory gonna try to run out and try to
factory?
Are they gonna try to get some revenge on them? They're gonna get destroyed.
It's got to be someone better in the factory.
Roppongi Vice, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, whoever it is, they're getting killed.
They're
It
getting
doesn't
murdered,
matter. They're getting
absolutely
murdered.
destroyed.
But I
Yeah.
think it's got to be someone that's kind of related to this whole corruption thing they're talking about, right? So I'll be interested to see where Malachi goes with this.
Yeah, exactly. Because remember, next week, it is the Elite versus the Death Triangle, round 4, right? So
Hmm.
4? Yeah,
Yes,
round 4.
Quattro.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what
Yep,
happens next week.
we will. I am intrigued. I liked this a whole lot. This was
Hmm.
really cool. I'm quite happy with it. Well, Jamie Hayter finally gets her sit down, and it is sans Brit.
Yeah.
So Jamie says to Tony, Saraya gets a sit down. Tony gets one. It baffles me. Hey, ask me some questions. And Tony says, the women's division's blossoming. Do you have any thoughts? Good hard hitting question there, Tony. And Jamie says, it's getting interesting, but I'm on top. Everyone is trying to grind their way to the top to get it, meaning the belt. I'll be taking a close look at that championship match on Friday between Hikaru Shida and who's she taking on?
She's the bunny. The bunny.
Oh, thank you, the bunny. But I'll give one of those girls the opportunity of a lifetime. The winner gets a title shot. Who did I tell you should
You
be
did say
fighting
this.
Jamie Hayter?
You did say this. You said Hikaru Shida,
Yeah,
because
that's
there's no
correct.
way that Shida's losing that belt to
No, she's not losing the D Wave championship to the
yeah.
bunny. The bunny is not going to be traveling to Japan to defend the D
Yeah.
Wave championship
No.
anytime soon. So
No. So yeah, so Hikaru Shida looks like she's up next. Yeah, interesting. Like I was wrong. I thought Bert was gonna interrupt, but hey, she got her sit down.
mhm,
Really, really just one question or whatever. But like,
mhm.
it's all it's needed. So yeah, good. They started setting up this match now, Hikaru Shida versus Jamie Hayter, which I'm assuming will take place at Winter is Coming.
Sure.
Um, right? Because why not? Why
I
not,
hope
right?
so. Like, what
Right?
was Tony listening to me earlier? Was he reading my mind? He's like, give me Hikaru Shida and Jamie Hayter, and I
Jamie
will be
Hayter.
happy.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a pretty good match. And yeah, I thought, like, you get the champion to talk a little bit. I do kind of feel that they are gonna start turning Hater into a face. So yeah, no, this was it did what it needed to do. This
Mhm.
little interview, like, it wasn't like the best interview in the world. It's kind of like it's doing what it needs to do.
Yeah, I mean, look, she's a wrestler. This is all elite wrestling, right?
Not all really talking. Come
It's
on,
not all elite
I think there
talking.
are more
Not
talking
everyone has to
segments in
stand around and
wrestling.
talk. I don't need to hear him. I just need to see him in the ring. Get in the ring, fight, and her against Hikaru Shida. Yeah, sign me up.
Oh,
Krishna, I have a question for you.
what's up?
Why is Jade Cargill's logo the Jericho Appreciation Society logo with slightly different letters and a person standing on top of it?
I can't explain that. Like I believe no, well, like technically, I think she had her logo first though, because she does, she was around before the JS was around. Yeah, she was around before.
Sure.
Yeah, because remember,
Yeah.
Jericho was part of what was the other crew? I forget what they called themselves before.
Inner Circle.
In a circle before that,
Yes.
and then came this, right? So yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, I can't explain it to you. I
Yeah.
really can't.
So let me get this straight. I just want to make sure I fully understand. Trios matches for the last 2 weeks on Dynamite have been Death Triangle versus the Elite. This week's trios match is Jade Cargill, Red
Mhm,
Velvet, and Layla Gray taking
mhm.
on Kiera Hogan, Madison Rayne, and Sky Blue. Well, we get Red Velvet and Sky Blue. They get out there first and they put on a pretty darn good
Yeah,
catch exchange,
yeah.
ending in some pinning exchanges until Velvet takes her down by the hair and tags in Gray. But Sky ends up getting a low drop kick and a nice looking seated Enziguri, then a thrust kick to Velvet. She tries to kick her outside, but Velvet pulls the apron and Sky falls into it. There's a double suplex to Sky. Gray then puts her in a solid headlock for a very long time. I mean, this went on
Yeah.
and on. I'm like, is this the Castagnoli Danielson match where they literally just did headlocks for 10 minutes? I mean, anyway. After she finally gets out of this headlock, Velvet went for the final slice, but Sky countered it. They looked that counter. That was the one spot I kind of went,
Yeah,
huh?
did she fall out of the ring? I was
Yeah,
like, what
like,
happened there? Okay.
yeah, don't really know. Then there were double thrust kicks, a hot tag to Hogan, and Jade also gets tagged in for the first time. Hogan dumps both the baddies. She does a drop kick to Jade in the corner, but Jade choke slams her. Kiera counters Jaded and then tags in Rayne, and Rayne almost immediately gets hit with Jaded, and that's the end of the match.
I was like, oh, so I guess Madison Rayne I was thinking Sky Blue was gonna take the fall, but I'm like, oh, I guess Madison Rayne is just gonna walk in and get the finisher done to her. Okay, as I said, this match was not terrible. It was not terrible. There were a few hiccups. Like it really sometimes I feel like the guys, because it's so much bigger in size in general. Like sometimes when they make a mistake, it doesn't really show because they're just so much bigger and closer together. Whereas the women, you see them and you're like, wait, was she supposed to do that? Because it looked as if she tried to jump at her and she kind of Samoa Joe and move out of the way and she flew out the ring. And even some of the kicks, I was like, was that kick supposed to happen? Like there were a few times on this match I kind of started questioning a few things, but overall, I mean, as I said in the pre-show, these women, they can wrestle, so put them in, and again, as I said it, they're gonna save Jade for last because they're gonna hide the imperfections, right? So they wrestled well, except as you said, like for the past couple weeks, you've seen trios matches and what, like the masters of their craft can actually do. And these women are still, obviously, they're very young, they're still honing their craft, but you're like, wow, yeah, I do see, like, maybe you could have practiced this a little bit more. Maybe this match could have been on Rampage, maybe not Dynamite.
Yeah, but
Right.
it's Jade Cargill, the number 6 wrestler in the world, according to Pro WWE Illustrated.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this match was exactly what I thought it was gonna be. It was just it was good, not great,
Yeah.
passable. Yeah.
For me, it was a tale of two matches. You had the opening. Skye Blue versus Red Velvet was
It
good.
was good.
They did a good job. I was like, oh wow, you good job, women, good job. Like they actually put on a good catch series. There were some interesting holds. They went back and forth, some pretty cool counters. I'm like, these two have potential. And I'm watching them going, there's your potential right there, right? Like these two did really well. Then the headlock happened, and the whole match went
slow it down.
Yeah, it slowed the match right down. It took the wind right out of the sails. Then there was that small little hiccup, and some timing looked off on some of the moves, like you said. And
Leila Gray looks really green still.
yes, very much so. And I think that was part of the problem. Red Velvet looks much better than Leila Gray. Skye Blue has improved night and day over
Oh
what
yeah,
she was able to do
100%.
before. And her in the ring with Red Velvet was really good. I enjoyed that a lot. I was watching them go at it. I'm like, oh, this match has got some potential going on here. This is really interesting. And then the headlock happened. I'm like, this does no, yeah, no, we're done. Okay. Yeah. There are ways to do long segments like that do not involve a headlock
Yeah,
for
fair
4 minutes.
enough. Yeah.
Like seriously. Tony's backstage with Britt. I'm sorry, with Saraya, and then Britt comes in, and on January 11th they're going to have a tag match, and it's going to be Britt and Jamie versus Saraya and somebody.
Who do you think? Yeah, whatever. I mean, this is such a odd.
It's gonna be Tony Storm.
I love when Saraya was like, I'm surprised Britt isn't, and then all of a sudden you see Britt.
Like, I know, I'm like, awesome, good job, Britt.
But yeah, as Britt said, you said, you told me that everything's handed to me. Your first match was a pay-per-view match. I was like,
yes,
oh,
exactly.
Yeah, good call out there, Britt. So yeah, I'm I don't know. Like, do I care to watch this match? Not really. Like, I'm really not excited for this match, right? But I'm like, okay, that's cool. But yeah, you're right. They're continuing the Saraya Britt storyline for some reason. I
Give
don't
me
know.
Saraya and Britt any day over Jade Cargill and anybody.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because seriously, I would much rather watch Saraya and Britt.
Yeah.
At least it's two people who can wrestle really well. Well, we then have an announcement, a whole Excalibur and exhales like a million things from 3 different shows. But the thing that stuck out to me was Jon Moxley has his challenger on Rampage. Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita on Rampage.
What do I say about this? What a match. What a match setup. Takesha's come in recently and he's just on fire. This guy is like,
Mhm.
I saw him with AEW. I'm gonna fight everybody, right?
Yep.
And he's so good that I'm like, well, Mox versus Takeshita. We've seen Mox versus Hangman. That was a hard hitting match. I can't
Mhm.
wait to see what Mox versus Takeshita is.
Oh yeah, I know.
Right?
And like, because Takeshita can go with the hard hitting too, right? This
Mm-hmm.
guy's no slouch. He's fast, he's agile, he's got the high flying stuff, and he's got the ground game. This guy
Yeah.
is like a complete package. This guy has the potential in a few years to be an absolute wrestling superstar.
Yeah.
And I
I
don't mean in
agree.
the WWE thing where they would probably name him something like, oh, I don't even know at this point. I'm not even going to go there, but they would name him something
Don't do it.
stupid.
Don't do it.
I'm not going to. Well, this leads us to FTR versus the Acclaimed, our main event. FTR challenging for the only belts they don't have out of the major championships they hold. So, and the announcers say, who has had a better year than FTR? They've got 3 championships. And I'm like, well, I know someone thought someone else had a better year than FTR. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, then we get Yolis and FTR will be the bottoms, the whole world scissors. FTR means find the remote, whatever that's supposed to mean. And Herschel Walker loses things. That about right for the wrap?
Think
Did I miss
so.
anything?
Yeah. No.
Okay, good. Krishna, for all we criticize Sanjay Dutt, for all we criticize their crew and Jeff Jarrett, they know how to watch a
I
television.
was going to say they were at least they're Sanjay does they're pointing at the screen and
Yep.
he was yeah, you're totally right. He wasn't, his back wasn't turned. He wasn't like he had all the reasons to be talking to the guys behind him, but
Yes.
they were looking at that screen.
Yep.
Jeff Jarrett's all he saw was his profile. They were
Yeah.
looking at that screen.
Exactly. They were all concentrating on the screen, straight on the screen. It was like, oh my God, this is the best. They actually know how to watch television. Wow. So yeah, I was so shout out to Sanjay and crew. Good job, guys. So the match opens going back and forth. We get some counters, chops, things break down after a bad break at the ropes. Cash gets tossed out, and then there's a scissor me timbers to Dax, which is my least favorite move in pro wrestling. Dax dodges Caster and goes for the sharpshooter. They lock double sharpshooters on FTR, but Dax
Mhm.
reaches the ropes. There's some scissoring. Cash sends Bowens into the post outside, Caster into the and outside they put Caster into the rail. They catapult Caster into the ring apron bottom, which just looked ouch. They work over Caster for quite a
Mhm.
while with some quick tags and 2 long headlock spots. What is with headlocks tonight?
I don't know.
Cash goes for a superplex, but Caster counters into a diving cross body. There's a hot tag, and Bowens goes nuts. He batters Dax down, gets a knee strike on him for 2. Dax gets the German suplex series going, but Bowens counters the last one into an O'Connor roll for 2. Bowens then does a neck breaker for 2. Dax counters the follow up, and FTR get their spiked pile driver on him for 2. They set Bowens up, but Max spears him, spears one of the two, roll up for 2. Max and Bowens into a Cazadora cutter for 2. As you can see, there's a lot of near falls in this match. Dax rolls through. There's a big rig attempt. That gets countered. There's another big rig. This time they hit it. Bowens breaks it up. Sigh. There's a "This is awesome" chant at this point. And I'm like, okay, okay. Dax puts Caster on the turnbuckle. Cash tags in. Bowens does the arrival. The mic drop misses, though. Cash slams Bowens. There's a lariat to Caster for 2. He picks him up. 2 more lariats Cash gives to Bowens.
Mhm.
Gives him a power bomb. Puts him in a jackknife. But Caster rolls through the jackknife for 3.
And they beat them.
Bowens. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Bowens
Yeah.
rolls through for 3.
As I said, like I said this would be my match of the night, and it is, but like I didn't enjoy the finish because, like, again, I what I feared happened tonight, right? Didn't enjoy the finish. You're right, the headlock spots were kind of long, but when these two teams can really go, we've always said the Acclaim are a really good tag team. They really are. Just that, may not like the gimmick and stuff like that, and we know who FTR are, right? So like, I mean, it was a good match, and I thought, like, when I was looking at my watch at one point, and I was like, okay, there's a couple minutes left. Okay, something's gonna happen. This match has been going on for a while. Something's gonna happen here, and then the pin happened, and I was like, how does this help FDR in any way? And you know what? What's like the ass boys who come up next were not wrong in any ways. This does not help your legacy at all, right? So I don't know. I don't understand this. I really don't understand this. Because even when you talk about the announcement they make, right? You're like, yeah, but who cares? Like why did they lost today so they can win on the weekend? Is that what this is? I'm so confused. Like I don't understand what the purpose of having this match at this point really is. Like I don't get it. To say that the Acclaimed they're the best. Listen, we know they're the AEW champions. We get that, but they're not the best. They're not the Young Bucks, okay? All right, and then they're not that triangle, not that triangle. Sorry, they're not like the Lucha Brothers, and they're not FTR. So you can try to play this as much as you want. Great, a roll up win. I don't like roll up wins. I really don't.
I like them if they're in the right spot.
Yeah, I like the actual like you finisher roll up wins or like for example even last week when the Elite won, like they won because Pac killed himself, right? You're telling me that Cash hits 3 or 4 lariats, power bombs, and the guy he does it to is still able to roll him up and cover him?
Yeah, it's a little sketch. Yeah.
Shenanigans. That's what
Yeah.
I call right there.
Yeah, because
Okay.
you know what, there are definitely like, look, I am not adverse whatsoever to a quick roll up finish or like a surprise pin out of nowhere. Sometimes that can be the best way to tell the story, right? Like if you've got like a tournament setting, for example, just because I'm watching so many tournaments right now, when you've got say a team that's up in a lot of points and they're up against people they should be beating hands down, but one of them just manages to pull out that quick
Yeah.
roll up and be a spoiler and it takes them out of the points, right? Something in the G1 where something like that happens or something. Man, that's pretty cool, right? Because all of a sudden you get the surprise win from a guy who had no business winning a match, and it changes the whole fabric of the tournament. So there are points where storytelling with a good quick roll up or something like it's awesome, right? It's awesome. But you're right, having someone having been beaten down that much and then getting it, yeah, I mean, that's a little sketch. I think what bothered me the most about this match was the booking. It's just the overall booking,
Yeah,
right? Like
I don't
I
get
complained
it.
about it at the beginning. I'm complaining about it now. This match, I couldn't, like, my whole enjoyment of the match was affected by the booking, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I wrote down because I was like, I'm sure, like when they were so chanting, "This is awesome," I'm like, am I missing something? Because I wasn't enjoying it,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And I realized that's me, right? Because I'm like, they're working their asses off out
Mm-hmm.
there. There's some good moves and stuff. This is probably a much better match than I'm feeling. So I had to think about it intellectually. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see how this is a good match, right? So yeah, I'm probably like, if I had to grade it, 3.5 stars, right? Good match, solid. Not my match of the night. I enjoyed this. The Samoa Joe and Darby one got my emotions a little more, and that's what I look for. But you know, it was good. There was a lot of good moves, but the whole booking tainted it for me. It just tainted it. And like this could have been something epic. It could have been something huge for FTR. Even if they lost the match, it could have been something huge for them going up against the right opponent with the
Mm-hmm.
right match. This should have been a pay-per-view match, right? There's no way, or like on a big, like at least put it on Winter is Coming or something
Yeah.
and put it on with a build. Fans have been clamoring for this match for ages, since before the Trios tournament was announced way back when. They were clamoring for FTR and the Bucks,
Mm-hmm.
clamoring when the Bucks had the titles. Come on, do FTR and the Bucks, right? No, no. What do we get instead of that? FTR and the Acclaimed with a less than a week build on a throwaway Dynamite.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's WWE shit right there.
Mm-hmm.
Right there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it affected my enjoyment. I couldn't call this match of the night for that reason. So I can appreciate how someone could see it as match of the night, but I can't do it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And then we get that quick segment. You've already alluded to it. The Guns are like, FTR are trash, but we got him presents, and you're gonna fight the Briscoes in a double dog collar match on Saturday.
Yeah. Again, I mean that match is going to be great, but
Yep, sure.
no builds for anything,
Right.
right? Nothing.
Are the matches on this card and the Ring of Honor card good enough though for the $40 price point? How many buys do you really think they're gonna get for this pay per
I
view?
know, and that's what's scary. It's like Tony Khan, what are you thinking? It's almost like you should have just shifted one of your Dynamite episodes to Ring of Honor and just have it on TV. Like,
I
I
know,
think that would
right?
have been better. But okay, if you think it's gonna make these make these buys, you know, I hope you get it. I really do.
Yeah.
But it's none of the. I shouldn't say none. I'm saying it's looking at the listing of matches.
Yep.
Feels like it's
Yeah.
not worth the price, right? So
Yeah. I mean, it's not like the matches suck. Some of them
yeah,
look pretty entertaining. But am I gonna want to pay
no,
$40 for it?
no,
Yeah. When it looks like what I would call, a good episode of Dynamite with
yeah,
maybe a bit of a
exactly,
bonus to it, right?
yeah.
Like, okay. So, yeah, whatever. Okay. Well, I'm assuming that you would agree with me that there was nothing Omega level on this particular night.
No, no, very odd night.
Hmm.
The elite weren't on it
No,
at all.
boy, did I
Um,
miss them.
yeah, and yeah, it was definitely not Omega level in any way, which yeah, that kind of sucks. Like there wasn't
No.
any match on here, and given the Samoa Joe and the Darby match was really really well done,
Hmm.
but that's a great match, but nothing Omega level on here.
Yeah, no, there was nothing on this show that came close to a couple Stardom matches I watched earlier today either. So I know I
There you
keep
go.
saying that, but I mean honestly, this wrestling
Jeez,
is just so
what a
good.
stardom shill we have here. Like this guy, like Ollie, like I don't know if he's getting paid by Stardom, but like we really should investigate this
Stardom, can you
because
start paying me?
yeah,
That would be
yeah,
pretty
like because
awesome.
I'm pretty sure he's working for them in secret, and he just hasn't told me. And he's like, you know what I'm gonna do? Every time I have a chance, I'm gonna like just like promote Stardom. Next thing you know, you're gonna be running down matches like Excalibur to us. I'll be like, did we ask you for a rundown of like
So
what's
coming
coming
up
up
on,
next on
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 Stardom
Stardom?
this
That's next
weekend.
week. Like
Here's the cards for both their weekend shows, guys.
it's like, oh, okay. I just didn't
Uh,
realize that you were working for them already. So,
mhm. Nope.
you're
I
working for
know.
Stardom, New Japan, I think, as well.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, yeah.
I think Will Ospreay I think you're probably part of the United Empire at this point, right? Because you keep promoting them so
Korega
much.
United Empire da. Yes.
Yeah, there you go, right? So
I'm
I
even
mean,
starting to
like
speak some
you're
Japanese,
speaking
even though
some
it's
Japanese.
horribly pronounced, and my apologies to anyone who actually speaks Japanese.
And you're like, you like the discounts Don Callis more than Don Callis himself. Like I don't even know what's wrong with you.
Excuse me,
Like
the orchestrator?
the discount Don Callis.
Hey, at
Did I
least he gets
stutter?
in the ring.
I'm gonna call him DDC from now on. Discount Don Callis. That's what he is.
Discount done. It's the discount done. That's not
um
bad. Kenny, if you're listening to this, please use that. Um, yeah, yeah, no, it's at
could
least he gets in the ring. Like I said,
could
he will at least try to fight.
could you imagine if Don Callis is successful with recruiting Konosuke Takeshita
I know.
to the elite? Oh, oh my goodness. I can't even fathom what that would be like. Oh
Yeah,
my
because
goodness.
Kenny Omega is pretty good at working with those like really good Japanese
Mm-hmm.
guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yeah, and I mean he comes from some of the yeah, no, it's that's insane.
Oddly, Kenny Omega liked a tweet recently from Michael Nakazawa, who was with his golden lover.
Oh yeah, yeah, Bushi's
Uh-huh.
recuperating, so
He
yeah,
is.
yes he is.
And we know he does not well, he has a lot of ill will towards New Japan. We know that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um I'm just wondering, that would be a quite an epic reunion if it ever decided to happen.
yeah. So it absolutely would. It absolutely would. You know, and then maybe the United Empire could steal Konosuke Takeshita
No
away.
way. No way. Takeshita, as we just said, this guy is AEW now for like life at this point because
Uh,
he just wants to wrestle every single AEW person. And I love the push he's getting. This is awesome. Like John, you're
yes.
facing off against a former champion now and
Oh, I
Moxley.
know. Moxley versus
Good
Takeshita. I
on
can't wait.
you.
Can't wait.
Good on you.
That could
Right.
be that could be match of the week.
And hey, I wouldn't be shocked if we see Umino show up in AEW eventually. It's not like signing, but another
Hmm.
match because hey,
Right.
he's Mox's boy, right? So
Yep. No, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll see what happens. We'll see
him
what
versus
happens.
Omega, I wouldn't mind watching that match.
Yeah. Oh, I
Jesus.
know. He's had a couple good
Oh,
matches against Will
hmm
Ospreay. So yeah,
hmm
yeah, he'd be quite good. Yep. But These shall be thoughts for another day, because we have run out of time.
We have.
And as the great one always says, goodbye, everybody, and good night. Bang.
You got it right this time. Good night, everyone.